Let's walk you through the Edo post-election, the key lessons learned, and charting the paths forward for sustainable development. Now, the 2024 Edo gubernatorial election has come and gone. Of course, leaving behind a mixed feelings of victories, losses, and of course, key lessons for all stakeholders involved as Edo State transits into a new phase under the freshly elected leadership as declared by INEC Senator Monday Okpewolo. There is much to reflect upon. Of course, beyond this, the outcome, and of course, it's crucial and for us to analyze what this election has taught us as individuals and how we can use these lessons to chart a course for sustainable development, which is the thinking or the aspiration of every right-thinking Edolite, especially in the state. Now, today, we are going to be diving into the successes, challenges, and opportunities this election has presented and explore actionable steps to get away from it, the pains especially, and the gains to leverage on it. We have in the studio here with us a civil rights activist. He's also a politician. He's in person of Comrade Curtis Ubo. Glad to have you join us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody.
Okay, joining us virtually from Lagos, Nigeria. He was an aspirant under the Labour Party. And of course, he's a successful businessman and a politician. He's a person of Honorable Adolphus Aleto Arebame. Good to have you join us. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Prince. Good morning, Curtis. Greetings from Lagos.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start with you if you can get us clearly. Honorable Aleto, if you can hear us clearly. What do you believe were the most significant lessons learned from this 2024 Edo gubernatorial election?
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. It's nice to be on air this morning after all the battles over the weekend. A lot of lessons have, we have learned a lot of lessons, or there are a lot of lessons to take away from the just concluded elections. And one of the key lessons, apart from others, is the fact that power belongs to the people. The choice of who to lead or who to be the leader of any society rests with the grassroots. And we saw that very clearly during the elections. We saw thousands of people, coming out to come and decide who their leaders were in spite of the weather conditions and all the other limitations, that were before them. Apart from the fact that we learned that power belongs to the people and the people have decided, there were other key lessons, that were particular, to the Edo election. And one of them played out very well, the issue of collective, mutual, unwritten agreement. There was an understanding by every Edolite that power should rotate to a particular senatorial zone, and we saw two different parties, do that. We saw what happened to the third party who did not abide by that collective understanding. I would say agreement, collective understanding. It just became a two-horse race, because for those parties that abide or that decided to honor that collective understanding, you saw that they were the two key parties that were in that race. Another lesson that one would have learned is the lesson that in politics, one should learn to adopt the concept of addition, the concept of inclusiveness. Today we have learned that every vote is important in politics. And we saw that with the players, we saw that with the key players. We had instances where many people have blamed one part of the players, of allowing his best hands, to go to the other side. And I mean, without mentioning specific names, we saw that those people who had who were more receptive, to people were, at the end of the day came tops. They had an upper hand in terms of election of the result declaration. Another lesson that we also learned is that, look, a free, fair, credible, and peaceful election is possible in Nigeria. All right. If you look at the Edo election very clearly, you will find that yes, there may have been skirmishes of violence, here and there, but above all, 85%, 90%, 95%, the election was free, was fair, and was peaceful, largely peaceful. We didn't quite hear violence, ballot box snatching, and I mean, we didn't record any death. So it also tells us that if we all put our hearts together, elections in Nigeria can be peaceful, it
Okay.
can be fair, and it can be credible. I
Okay, we'll
think I'll
get back
just
to you.
like to leave it for now, for my other colleague to speak.
All right, we'll get
Thank
back
you.
to you in a moment. Now, he
Yeah.
said the election was free, fair, and peaceful. Yes, the election was peaceful
Yes.
to an extent.
Yes.
But is the election actually free? Was it actually fair? Looking at the allegations, the counter allegations coming, and the accusation or the accusing finger on INEC.
Um, for me, the election was free, credible, and peaceful. Normally in our system, our people doesn't like accepting defeat. They start blaming others for their own failure. You know, the election to me was credible, fair, and peaceful.
So why are they crying? Why are people complaining?
That is what
If it was,
that
if
is
it was fair,
that
if
is
it was
what we,
free,
that's what we get from Nigerians. Nobody want to accept defeat. You know, you cannot bully people to come and vote for you, like what was going on in Edo State. Okay, Edo people came out en masse to vote their choice. It shows that you cannot bully us to come and vote for you. If this present administration of the governor did well for the people, you don't need to bully anybody to come and vote for you. With the things they saw, imagine a situation where the roads are bad, you are blaming it on another person. What are you a state governor for? You understand? So people came out to let the government know that you can't bully us. So, as you can see, at a point, the Edo Vigilante was disbanded. There was reason for that. If you 2023 presidential and National Assembly election, you saw a lot of things that went wrong, killings and all that. Even the House of Assembly election, they conducted. So this election, INEC did well.
okay. It seems you and Honorable Aleto, you're on the same page, but let's try to see how to bring a divide here. Honorable Aleto, you were in LP, Labour Party, and of course, you were not just a card-carrying member, you wanted to be the flag bearer, although it didn't turn out
That way.
positive on your own part. However, could that be the reason why you're having this view this morning?
Well, it's not because I left Labour that I'm having a very positive orientation about the election. I Number one, I was on ground um, in my ward, in my unit, to participate fully, to mobilize voters, for who I believed was my choice, to be the governor of Edo State. So I had a first-hand experience as to what transpired in at least say 3, 4, 5 different units within my ward. So I am not being influenced. My orientation this morning is not being influenced by the fact that I had left a party for another party. Absolutely no. But you see, what had happened in the Labour Party um, uh, uh, contributed to largely has contributed to the result that we have today. And that was why I first of all said when we're talking about the lessons learned, if the entire state had have agreed that power should rotate to a particular senatorial district, and Labour Party in its own wisdom decided to go against it, they have simply been punished by the people who agreed and decided that this is where we want to go. And that was a reflection on the result of the Labour Party candidate that you saw. You can even see that even in his own unit, he was rejected by his own people. So which is totally I mean, I cannot understand that you do not have such relationship with the people that lives around you. So if the people that live around you will reject you at a time like that, then it means that you didn't have any business in the election at all. Then number two, it also means that the process of arriving at the flag bearer for Labour, which was grossly uh, uh, occasioned by cries and complaints of monetary inducement, did not work with the people. So when you bulldoze your way through a system, and at the end of the day you expect the system to favor you, this is part of the punishment. So it was a very big lesson, and for Edo politics, that is very peculiar. We are very sensitive, politically sensitive and politically intelligent when it comes to choosing and deciding our leaders. Edo people know what they want. So when it comes to that of Labour, yes, the Edo people punished Labour greatly for what they did. And because I was there and have not changed my position about the views of this election.
Thank you very much, Honorable Aleto. We'll still get back to you. But however, Comrade Curtis Ugo,
yes, my brother.
Looking at all the candidates, the front runners, from Olumide Akpata Esquire to Dr. Aswa Godalo Esquire to Monday Okbawolo, they are all good materials.
Of course.
Someone like Aswa Godalo had good media engagement, very, very robust engagement with the people. In fact, he engaged at the grassroots level. He also engaged using all platforms to ensure that he reached out to people. But from some quarters, he was or he is a good material to be a governor. But what could be the reason why it didn't favor him, from your perception?
Good question. You see, Edo people are too intelligent politically. We have, over the years, people come to talk and not do anything. Okay? The Aswa Ighodalo we are talking about, he has been in government right from Adam Soshomole era. He was a part of the economic team of Adam Soshomole. He was there with this present government that is winding up now for 8 years. What has he done for his own immediate community? He has not done anything. So you cannot come and be preaching like a pastor. You understand? Edo people believe in no noise. You saw the way Monday Okbawolo organized himself. A man that wants to do something will not talk too much. So that is what you saw. Our people are so smart politically. You cannot come and be making noise. They will ask, this man, in the government is now Obaseki's best friend. Why not do anything for us? There was a place where he even went and visited his people. A 60-something years old man could not even speak his language. What do you expect from the people? You think they are stupid? You cannot bully anybody.
But you will not be using your dialect to communicate with foreigners when you get to office.
Listen, Listen.
You won't be using your mother's tongue when you are driving the
hold
economy.
on,
Your
hold
mother's
on.
tongue might not work there.
Politics is local. You want my vote? You cannot speak to talk to me in the language I understand. I won't vote for you. That is what happened. So you cannot be saying because he was media friendly, he was, you know, that cannot give you vote. Our people are too smart for that. That was what happened.
Okay, Honorable Aleto, we are still on the three major candidates. Dr. Aswa Godalo, who came second, and of course with total vote of 247,655, and Olumide Akpata Esquire, who got 22,763. These men, or these candidates, including the governor-elect, they are all good materials. But before the election itself on 21st of September, some persons were of the opinion that the APC candidate is not just there at all in terms of engagement with the people. And of course, do you think they are right in that sense?
So this is a you know, a post-election review. So, and in this post-election review, one is not supposed to be anticipating or assuming, but you are now looking at what has played out. Now, at the inception of this race, many had a lot of issues against the senator, you know, out of which they said the senator was not proficient in English, the senator was not outspoken, and a whole lot of that. And of course, for the PDP candidate, a lot had also said, just like Mr. Ogbo said in the um, studio right now, complained about his inability to communicate in his local language and all that. But you see, we had argument and several articles we have, you know, have been written concerning all these issues. Whether Okpebolo could speak English or not, or Dr. Aswa Ighodalo could speak his local language or not. You see, the people have spoken. At the end of the day, the people have told you that, look, hey, we will vote for who we can connect with. We will vote for who we can relate with. We will vote for who we see every day. We will vote for who understands our problem. And that's the significance of the vote that has been cast by these people. If you go by visibility on social media and all the other print media and the television and all that, you'll probably give it to uh, Barrister Akpata, Olumide Akpata, because he was everywhere. But you see, politics is local, politics is connection, politics is personal. I have come to realize it in the last few months of this campaign. If you cannot connect with the people or to the people, forget it. Organizing campaigns in the market place or a place or the streets, along the streets where you have busy passers-by, will not give you full vote. You must learn to connect with the people. So when they say Okpebolo is challenged in certain areas, they weren't seeing him, he wasn't visible. Now I can categorically tell you what he was doing. He was connecting with the people. He was in the grassroots, bulldozing from one location to the other, asking the people, you know, to give him their vote and promising them what he knows were before them, the problems that were before them. I mean, these problems are visible. The issues available are visible. Now, Praise, do you know that where I voted, the unit where I voted, INEC mistakenly transferred my, when we're doing all these transfers, INEC mistakenly transferred my polling booth to another polling booth that I did not request for. But at the end of the day, I was happy that I went to that place. In that location, the school, the primary school that had been there for several years that I grew up to know had disappeared. Shrubs, bush had taken the primary school over. There was no longer roof, and nobody goes to school in that place anymore in this age and time. So if Okpebolo goes to that place and say, hey, look, this is the problem that you have. Okay, I will give you a school. he is, I mean, at that point, he is talking to the people directly. The people are not seeing him from afar. They are not seeing him on social media. So social media is good, but people should learn. I mean, politicians should learn that you cannot win on social media. And I'll also share another experience with you. I was very shocked and embarrassed, after the election and the result had been declared. I contacted somebody that I felt, was hands-on, fighting seriously for his candidate. And the person told me that he did not leave his location. He lives outside Edo State. He did not leave his location to go home to vote, not to even go home to mobilize votes for his candidate. So, and that person every day is on social media, is on WhatsApp, writing in favor, writing sweet story about his candidate and deriding other candidates. So if you were not on ground to mobilize votes for your candidate, how were you expecting him to win? Praise, I was on ground. I won my unit as a leader in my place, in my village. I won my unit. But will you compare me to somebody else who is supposed to be a leader for his candidate, did not come to the state, did not come to vote, and did not come to mobilize? So let's just go over, let's just discard the issue of the qualities of the candidate, because the results have come, the results are gone. The people
Okay,
have
quickly.
spoken. It is who they see that they will vote for.
Okay, before we get back to the studio, just react to this. Are you not saying because you were on ground, that could be the reason why some of the lacuna, as alleged by some persons from INEC, who are major players, didn't take place in your unit? Because if you are saying these other persons didn't leave wherever they were to come and vote in their unit, so that could give rise to some illegality in their locations. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, there are two different things. Because I was on ground, I was able to mobilize my family. I was able to mobilize the people that I know, the people that trust me, people that trust my judgment. They were able to come. I was able to influence them to say, hey, look, vote for this, even though he's like this and like that. But you can hold me responsible. You can hold me accountable. This school that you're talking about, we will come back and fix it. So they can relate with that. And with that, success, was confirmed. But I mean, you can't compare me to somebody who was not on ground. He's a politician like me. He's a leader like me. He has a word. He has a unit. He did not come to vote. He did not come to mobilize vote for his principal, and he expects to win. And then now I have won, or the party that I support has won. And then you go out still on the social media and then you cry foul. I'm saying that it is not fair to cry foul if you were not on ground to participate in that election.
Okay, Comrade Curtis Ugo, let's get straight into the heart of the matter now. To an extent, there seems to be a kind of context between the incumbent governor and the candidate of the PDP. Yes, that of the Labour Party, Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata, the narration of LP not going towards Edo Central was some of the disservice he heard from what Honorable Aleto said, but there seems to be a kind of contest. It was battle for survival for Aso Ighodalo, as the governor seems to have so many arrows shooting at his direction. Could that be the reason why Aso Ighodalo didn't get victory in the polls?
Yes, of course. For the fact that, like my colleague said, that because they did not move for the Labour Party going to Edo South.
Edo Central.
That was what happened to Olumide Akpata. I don't believe that totally.
Okay.
Because Labour Party, they don't have the structure. They were banking on this obedient movement thing that we did in the 2023 presidential election.
Yeah.
So they didn't go down to the grassroots, So that was where they got it wrong, Then for this Aso Ighodalo and, if Godwin Obaseki have done well for the people and not fighting the people, it would have been a win-win situation for Aso Ighodalo, But because of the issues, a lot of issues, Obaseki, in fact, Obaseki is the cause of his failure. You know why?
Why?
He is not in the good book of the people. Obaseki came in the first tenure to the APC. We all saw what happened. He fought everybody in APC, was claiming to the people, telling the people that they are saying that he should share the money. You know, he now came to PDP. He started fighting. He had been fighting everybody in Edo State. If you keep fighting people, that means you are the one that is bad.
But the governor was not on the ballots.
Hold on.
So Ighodalo is the candidate.
Hold on. They say, show me your friend, and I will tell you who you are. You understand?
So are you in a way now saying Aso Ighodalo will be...
They are birds of the same feather. That's what I'm saying. They are birds of the same feather.
That's a strong...
Hold on. Let's take a scenario. Let's take this scenario. Now, Aso Ighodalo is a lawyer. They said he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
Was he not there when Governor Obaseki refused to inaugurate those judges? Why didn't he advise his friend? Oh boy, me want contest. You they do all these ones. I'm a lawyer. Please swear that in. He didn't do it because they are birds of the same feather. They wrote together. You know, that was the same thing that affected Osaodio Oge, if he was wise, he would have resigned from Obaseki's government because he knows that he wants to contest. But he was still there. He's the one signing most of those documents. And you want people to be clapping for you? We supported Godwin Obaseki in his second tenure because he worked on our psychology.
You supported him?
Yes, I was one of those talk-back people.
So what now? What went wrong? What went wrong? What happened to the talk-back people?
You know, that first tenure, it deceived us that they want the APC people, they want him to share money. He doesn't want to share money. He wants to use the money to work for Edo people. Everybody now followed. Say, no, don't give them money. Work for us. Where they work, where they don't work for us since his second tenure. Which work? Instead, it was demolishing houses.
The government has worked to an extent. They are still working.
Now. That is for you. For me,
the government has worked.
For me, I've not a government that is passing roads. Is that government?
Well, criticism, they say, is a harsh opinion.
Yes.
It's a harsh way of expressing your opinion against what you don't
want.
Should we see it as this is your opinion?
It's my opinion.
But to an extent, the government has worked.
That is for you.
For the people.
It has not worked for
and it's visible.
As far as I'm concerned, you have no work for Edo people.
Now, you'll be walking us through the role you played because you were one of those, if you were in the Togba group, which we saw you participated actively.
Yes.
And along the line, to just in a flip of time, you are at the other side.
Yes.
You'll be telling us what went wrong. But let's get back to Honorable Aleto, who is also still waiting from Lagos, Nigeria, virtually. Can we ever have an electionary period or process that will not end in the courts? Yes, our democracy is still fragile, it's still growing. But can we ever get to that point where we don't need to drop cases on the tables of lawyers and judges to decide who actually wins in a context like this?
Okay, so thank you very much, for that question, because the issue of going to court to challenge every electoral result is part of the problem why there will continue to be voter apathy, where people think that their vote doesn't count anymore and that it is the court that decides, at the end of the day. But you see, the problem is with the politicians or the participants or the candidates. In sports, they say, okay, that you behave like a sportsman. I mean, there's the concept of sportsmanship. The concept of sportsmanship simply says that, look, there's been a date, there's a date for this sporting activity. Everybody goes to prepare. Now, when everybody has prepared, you come to the field to give your best. When you do give your best, at the end of the day, the umpire declares who the winner is. So it is expected that as a participant, as a sportsman, you will accept that result. That's the concept of sportsmanship. But I want to extend that to politics, because in politics, we also say, oh, be a sportsman, behave like a sportsman. But I want to say that people should now, from now on, begin to think of what you call political sportsmanship. So everybody gets to prepare one way or the other. All right. And in a contest like this, it must be very clear. Politicians and stakeholders must have the consciousness, the realization that only one person can win. And once the umpire says that this is the winner, there should be no grandstanding. There should be no accusation. There should be no, crying foul and crying wolf. Once the umpire have declared a position, it should be respected. It's like a typical football field where the referee, gives a card, and every other player in the field, they become rogue and challenge the referee. No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be like that. Otherwise, the game of football would not be beautiful for us to watch. So in the political terrain as well, it is possible, to answer your question, it is possible for us to get to that point in politics where the umpire, by whatever name it is called, will declare an election, and the loser will walk over to the winner to say, congratulations, next time we will meet. It has happened in this country. Our former President Goodluck Jonathan, did it. There was an election. The umpire said he lost. People said he won, but he picked his phone and called the other person and said, congratulations. So if it has happened in this country, why can't it happen in the state? Because, if we continue to go the route that everybody is going now, there's a place in the Bible that says that when a strong man keep his goods, he said those goods are safe. He said, but when a stronger man appears, he will beat the strong man, collect his goods, and then walk away. So in the game of politics, why I said it's political sportsmanship, it means that everybody will have a tendency to outsmart the other, whether it is legitimate or not. But when the other person has been declared as the winner, and you tried your own illegitimate means to achieve result, it did not work. Perhaps the other person tried his own illegitimate means. These are all strategies that everybody will put on the table, that they will execute. Where you know that your own was not as effective as the other person's own, simple and common obligation on your part is to walk over and congratulate the other person. Because, in the Edo State today, some people cry foul and say, oh, this election was not free, it was rigged, we are the winner. You are not the umpire. So you cannot have an overview of the total activities or the total result of the election. So you are not in the right place to begin to decide or to dictate who won. Because just the way you feel that you have the right to decide who won, the other group also feels that they have the right to decide who won. So if with your self-acclaimed victory, let's even assume that it's possible, and then that's, oh, because you are crying loud, they give you the victory. By the time the other side starts to cry, the society will not be conducive for us to live in. So that is why it's advisable that people should adopt political sportsmanship. When an umpire says this is the result, everybody should accept that result and plan for the next game.
Against the backdrop of the result not being widely accepted by the actors, do you think it is wise to just accept such results like that? Yes, we saw so many illegalities or so many irregularities in the election. Vote buying was a major case. Both political parties are fingered in this act. So how do we substantiate this, Honorable Leto?
Exactly. So that's the scenario I was trying to paint. So they accuse a particular party of vote buying, but observers says, look, vote buying was pervasive. Vote buying was across the parties. The only difference was that one spent higher than the other. Even though, I would not encourage vote buying, but it is a practice that politicians have engaged in. So if you could prove vote buying and that the other person outsmarted you in that, using that strategy, why will you come back and begin to cry foul and be crying that the election was not free and fair, or the election result was not, did not reflect the will of the people. No, I feel that no matter what, the umpire should be respected. The position of the umpire should be respected. Okay? The umpire have said, from what we have seen, from what we have gathered, this is the winner. And they have declared him the winner. I think that it is a mark of respect for the people. It is a mark of respect for the process. And it is a mark of respect for the stakeholders, all the stakeholders that are involved, and a show of maturity to simply say, yes, okay, we accept this result. When in another 4 years, we'll go and put our hearts together, and then we'll do better. I think it's a mark of maturity to, it's a sign of maturity to do that. It's a mark of respect for the people to do that, other than to now begin to poison the mind of your followers. Because look, if there is an outbreak of anarchy, who suffers? All these players can hop on a private jet and leave the state or leave the country. Who suffers? I saw some people on the street yesterday, in the guise of protest against the result. And what first of all came to my mind was the economic state of those people. These are people that at that time of the day were supposed to be in the farm or supposed to be in the market, looking for their daily bread. But they have taken it out of that and they're on the street. So which means they're not going to make anything that day. But the people that they seemingly are fighting for are not on the street. Their income, their revenue is counting for them. Their means of livelihood is not interrupted, it's not hampered. It continues. So I think that as leaders, we all are people, that sense of responsibility to give them the right direction. Asking people to come out to protest when you know that you could easily have accepted the result as declared by the umpire. I think it is not fair on the people, and I think that it is not a mark of respect for them.
Let's return back to the studio now, Comrade Curtis Ugbo. Some persons or some stakeholders, they are of the opinion that the staged protest at the government house in the build-up to the election, calling out the governor of the state and accusing him of not respecting the traditional institution, was politically motivated.
Not at all. Our people, like I said earlier, we are sensitive politically. Okay? Everybody saw what happened. If the governor have respected the traditional institution, nobody will stage a protest and go there to the government house. Okay? We all saw what have been happening over time. Immediately he came in the second tenure, he started fighting, showing himself, even to us, that supported the second tenure. He didn't do anything. Now, we all saw how he was dragging the stolen Benin artifact with the palace of the Oba of Benin. We saw how some Eniges started, they divided the palace Eniges.
But the government has, over time, refuted all these claims.
No, we all know what is happening. We are not children. We are not babies. Listen, how can a governor of a state and a Benin man that's supposed to understand the tradition of his traditional institution, okay, how can he say the stolen Benin artifact belonged to the state government? Something that was stolen even before the country existed and the state existed. That one is, by the way, he called a meeting using some certain Eniges to call a meeting, gave them some money to fight against the institution.
Do you have the proof?
We know all those things. I have proof.
Whatever we can substantiate, whatever we can substantiate.
It's my personal opinion.
Your opinion,
yes,
might not go down well with other persons.
Of course.
So we should know that.
Yes.
And if you don't have proof of this, we shouldn't go that way.
Now, he said the traditional institution, the Enigis, some of them divided. For God's sake, is the palace of the Oba being that inaugurates every Enogi in any dukedom. Okay?
Traditionally.
Yes, traditionally. Not the government house. Not Edo State government. But you see, they now started holding meeting with the governor. We were calling meeting. There are proofs now whereby those that were supposed to pay loyalty to the palace of the Oba Benin, they stopped going to the palace. You understand? And not holding meeting in government house. If as a Benin man, I will encourage such thing. The next day they went to court, taking our palace to court. They instigate, you are encouraging them. As a Benin man, are you supposed to encourage them? That was why you saw the Benin nation stage a protest to him, that he should come and apologize to the palace of the Oba. It is the palace that binds us as a people. We will never, no matter what, we don't play with that, as a Benin man, we don't play with that throne.
But this is not monarchy system of government. And secondly, there are pointers that some of your group members, you didn't benefit from the government of Governor Obaseki, and that's why you're fighting him.
That is not true.
You didn't benefit anything financially.
That is not true.
You felt he didn't carry you along. He didn't give you money.
Personally, like me, I'm a businessman, a successful businessman. I don't need this money to survive. Okay? The last 4 years, I've built 4 houses. So what do I want from governor? I don't need anything from him, but I believe in truth.
But there are some persons under your group, hiding under your umbrella, who felt they didn't get anything from the government. That's why they are pushing for this fight.
That is not true. You know, that is what they normally say. When they fail, somebody protests, they say they don't give them money, me go, they do all this one. That is what they always say, because their own poverty mentality is money, money, money. Money is not everything. I'm a man of principle. You know, you cannot bribe me to go and do something stupid. I will not do that. I have my name to keep. That protest was done to send a message, because he's a Benin man, to send a message across. Even if you are not a Benin man, you say you are a governor, you want to talk to our throne. We were born Beninese before we became whoever we are. You understand? So we maintain that our throne is, although we are not operating a monarchy system of government, for me, if you ask me, I would prefer that. Like the United Kingdom and in Canada, you know, I would prefer that. But we are born to come and meet this kind of English government. Okay?
But the legislators will decide that.
They will decide that. But for the fact that you are looking at our institution, our traditional, we don't play with as Benin people, we don't play with our Oba palace. You know? So for you to be throwing stones into our palace, we will not accept it. We will come after you. That protest is just the beginning. We are still coming back because he has not apologized yet. He must apologize to our Oba palace before he leaves.
Verbally?
He has to. He has to. You know, he can do a video from his room, kneeling down, telling the Oba, I'm sorry. We can.
But I don't know if you are the spokesperson of the palace. You are not.
I'm not. I'm just talking as a Benin man.
Okay, you're speaking.
As a typical Benin man.
I doubt if the palace are consonant with what you are saying.
It is the people, the Benin people, that the palace, our palace cannot come and tell you, come and apologize to us. It is we, the people, that makes all the palace. Without the people, we don't have palace there. So as a Benin man, as a Benin people.
You are calling for an apology from the governor.
We, the Beninese.
You speaking on behalf of them?
Yes.
Okay.
We are telling him to come and apologize to the palace of the Oba of Benin, because for what all the things we have seen, we are not babies.
So if that is not done, before we get to Honorable Aleto, if that's not done, what happens?
We will continue to protest. That is the only weapon we have. We will continue to protest. We are going back
without
there.
infringing on his rights?
No, of course not. He must apologize to us.
Don't forget, he's still the governor.
Of course. We made him the governor.
He still have till November to be in charge. He has immunity.
Between now and November, we will stage another protest there. We want to sit down with him until he apologizes.
But won't that lead to anarchy in the States?
I don't think so. We are peaceful.
Won't that cause problem in the
No,
States?
we are peaceful people. You know, you saw that our protest the other time. Nobody. Do you know this same governor have arrested me? I kept me in prison for 6 months for protesting that our Benin people should be employed by NPDC. So all these things are built
You
up.
must have stepped on his toes
You know,
then.
how did I do that? I didn't step on his toes.
And you went to prison.
I went to prison for 6 months. It's life. It's a life program.
It's a life
Yeah.
program.
I was in
National
prison for
television.
I was in prison
So
for
what
6
happened?
months.
What happened?
I led the protest. I discovered that our oil wells in Benin, I went to University of Port Harcourt. I never enjoyed bursary one day. Other people were enjoying because they have oil wells. I never knew we had oil wells. So when I discovered, I have to mobilize some of my people. Let's protest for NPDC. Why are they doing us like this? No corporate social responsibility for our people, no employment for our people. A peaceful protest, that's what I led there. At the end of the day, he called me to come to government. I was thinking that he was going to ask me what was going on, so that I can explain better to him. Instead, he called the IG of police to pick me up and take me to prison. I was in prison for 6 months.
Without being tried? You were not tried? No trial?
He charged me for treason. They couldn't meet up with their case. You must, when you charge somebody, you must prove your case beyond reasonable doubt before that person can be sentenced. So you want me to be happy with
to err is human,
yeah.
and to forgive is divine.
Well,
let's start preaching forgiveness.
I've forgiven him. We are peaceful people in Benin Kingdom. We are peaceful, but don't tell us that we are stupid.
Okay, we'll return back to you. Let's quickly get to Honorable Aleto. Honorable Aleto, the governor-elect, according to some persons, has said that he will hit the ground running from the beginning. Personally, I think I have a kind of fear with the word hit the ground running. We've heard the word hit the ground running, and it's like the ground is scattering at the federal level and it's affecting everyone economically. So if the governor-elect, Senator Mondo Pueblo, is actually taking that line that is going to hit the ground running, it calls for concern because he's of the APC. And APC at the center, they are still battling for widespread acceptance from Nigerians. What says you?
Okay, so in Edo State, because of the precarious position we are in terms of infrastructural decay, if there was a better word or a stronger word or term for hitting the ground running, I would have introduced it and I would have suggested it. The governor-elect, Senator Monday Okpebolo, needs to more than hit the ground running because there are too many areas that are requiring urgent attention. Our roads, require that he must start to work the very day from the very beginning. So there are too many areas. Our educational sector, the facilities and infrastructure at the lowest level of education, our primary schools and secondary schools, it's so dilapidated that he needs to do more than hit the ground running. Our healthcare, primary healthcare, is in the mess. Our security architecture and security activities is also in the mess. So these are 4 areas that Senator Monday Okpebolo, with his capacity that he has displayed during the campaigns and during his engagement, with us and the electorate, these are 4 areas that he needs to quickly, attack when he does resume in November. It is possible to hit the ground running, yes, and to also address the area of APC's wide acceptability. I have written several articles that look, yes, the federal government does have their own responsibility in governance and obligations to the people. You see, the closest government to the people is the councillor, from the council to the local government to the state. And I've written several articles that people, rather than look at the federal government, should hold their state government accountable for whatever they are experiencing. Because as a state governor, you are expected, what makes you that leader is your ability to relate with all stakeholders, whether across board among your peers as governors or vertically, with those people who have responsibilities at the federal level. So once you are unable to do that, which our governor, the present administration, was unable to do, clearly, he was unable to do that. He lacked that ability to relate vertically and even horizontally with his peers. So since he was unable to do that, we have found ourselves where we are today. So, but I believe that I'm very optimistic, and I believe from the qualities that the governor-elect has displayed, I believe that when he comes to power, he will be able to, as a matter of urgency, address these specific areas that I've mentioned.
Those that didn't get the desired victory in the polls, do you think it's necessary or crucial, critical for the governor-elect to reach out to them and bring them on board?
Of course, election is over and the winner has been declared. I will advise that we are all brothers. We have to be, we will put everybody to, is it like Honorable Leto said, the governor of a state is closer to the people than the presidency. So we cannot judge a party. I'm not a believer of political party. I believe on individuals. Okay? I keep asking. I say, why have you ever seen a governor coming to say federal government allocation? They refuse to give him federal allocation. They refuse to pay some money that comes from the federal. No. They collect all this money. Instead of using it to work, they divert it. So that, like he was saying, we should question our state governors. So we advise that Senator Ukpebolo should reach out to everybody, those state people, look at the way areas he has to start working. Like he said, our roads are bad. They keep telling, how can a governor of a state go and put a signboard say this road is federal road? Why not fix it for your people? You fix it if you really love your people. If I'm a governor today, I will not allow anybody to cry. I will make sure I take care of everybody. And at the end of the day, you will see them, they will be the one campaigning for me, not me campaigning for myself. It's a simple logic.
So the government of the day didn't take care of it?
At all. They didn't.
Despite
that is why they failed. That's why they failed in this election. They are now crying wolf that they ring the election. How did they ring the election?
Okay.
Okay,
Honorable Aleto, in your view, how did social media and technology impact the dynamics of the election, particularly in shaping public opinion?
So this is where I would like to say that the social media, even though yes, everybody accepts that it's a very strong communication tool and channel, but the social media has not affected the Edo State, both from before the election, during the election, and after the election. I scored the social media, very low, and I will place it as a tool that have impacted the process negatively. And I mean, without apology, because the social media does not give you the fact. It does not give you the truth. It gives you what the originator, the promoter, wants you to see. I saw a clip yesterday on social media where people speaking language that, I haven't had that kind of language in Edo State. And somebody put it there that this was what APC did in the Edo North. And I saw people commenting, insulting APC, under. And you see, it took the courage of somebody else to say, hey, look, this thing was just shown on Arise a few minutes ago, this morning. It was an election issue in another state, in an eastern state. So, you see, some people are strong on social media because they can stay in the comfort of their homes and do a lot of things on that platform. But you see, like I've said before, and like my brother, Mr. Ogbo said, politics is local. You must connect with the people. You must know what the people want. If you don't know what the people want, it will be difficult. There'll be a backlash, and your dream or your aspiration can be hampered. So social media, yes, has its own positive side, but I think that in the case of Edo, it has not done well at all, because it has continually, on a steady basis, given false narrative to people that are outside Edo State. I come to Lagos and people tell me, my friends in Lagos and outside Lagos, they tell me something different from what I'm experiencing in the state. And I keep saying that I am on ground. So if you say that this is what is happening, come and join me on ground. There was a particular project in my village. I had just passed through that road that weekend. And by the time I got to Lagos the following week, somebody else who had not been to the village for a long time was challenging me that road, that the government of the state had fixed that road. And I said, hey, what are you talking about? This is a road that I just passed over the weekend. He said, no, that there are images and there are videos showing that the government had fixed the road. And I said, it's wrong. So social media did not do us well in this election, because most of the time, those people who had stronger access for, or stronger need for social media, abused its use. And I want to also advise that going forward, politicians should learn to relate, or aspiring individuals, should learn to connect with their people and rely less on social media.
You were one of the frontliners in the obedience movement group.
Sure.
And you were accused of just being 10 young men who were pressing phones somewhere online and creating problems everywhere. But however, it looks like a tsunami, and it went across the federation that gave birth to the obedient movement. We will have those in the diaspora for the first time in a long while returning back home to participate in the election. So do you think it didn't happen again this time? Because we still had people talking online, we still have people writing online, like he had said.
Of course, social media is very good. It reaches out to people. It's just like every normal society. There are good people, there are bad people, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So social media is like a community. It sells information to the public. So social media plays a role politically, in every election. Okay? Social media, for me, although there's no unit in there's no polling unit in social media online, but it contributes a lot. Like he's saying, there are a lot of fake news on social media. But as a wise person, you will know the one to pick. Like in my page, I've vowed not to go there and lie, based on the kind of person I am. Anything I post on my wall, know that it is a fact. I do my investigation before posting. I don't just post. So that's why I said...
You do your fact checking?
Yes. That's why I said there are good, the bad, and the ugly people on social media. So it's just like a normal society.
Okay.